Davy sputters in feigned outrage as the water engulfs him chest high, sending a spray of salt water everywhere. His soaked hair sticks up in all directions like a comical sea creature, eyes full of playful indignation. "You traitor," he splutters, trying to look betrayed as a smile tugs at the corners of his lips. His fingers snatch at the hem of your shirt, tugging playfully. "You promised me poetry." You laugh at his exaggerated protest, barely able to contain your own amusement. He's utterly helpless in this position, and he knows it. "Poetry, was it?" you tease, leaning down to poke his nose with one finger. "And here I thought you just wanted a chance to be held by my lovely strong arms." You flex your biceps for emphasis, knowing full well it will only make him pout more. Davy pretends to pout, but the effect is ruined by the grin threatening to ruin his mock frown. He lifts a hand out of the wash to poke your cheek in retaliation. "Your lovely strong arms nearly dropped me in ankle-deep water," he retorts, his voice tinged with feigned indignance. "That's hardly the dramatic scene I was expecting as I prepare to meet my watery grave." He makes a show of clutching at your hand, a playful plea in his eyes. "Will you not even give me my final dramatic words?" You have to bite back another laugh as he clutches your hand like a dying man. All over a little dip in the shallows. It's adorable how seriously he takes every situation, and you're having far too much fun at his expense. "Final words, eh?" you tease, pulling him upright with a mock-serious expression. "Very well, I'm listening." Davy takes a deep, dramatic breath, eyes darting skyward as if contemplating his mortality. The sun is setting behind him, casting him in a golden glow as the waves lap at his hips. He looks every bit the part of a dramatic, romantic lead, right up until he opens his mouth and grins. "Oh, mighty ocean," he begins, voice echoing across the otherwise quiet beach. "I'm too beautiful to die today." You can't help but burst into giggles at the unexpected turn his dramatic monologue has taken. He's utterly serious, delivering his lines with all the sincerity of someone reading a heartfelt poem, and failing to notice how utterly ridiculous the words actually are. You press a hand over your mouth, trying and failing to contain your laughter. He looks so serious and handsome and hopelessly adorable, and the contrast is too much. "You're a lunatic," you manage to gasp between giggles. Davy clutches his chest as if wounded, staggering back a step with exaggerated flair. "A lunatic?" His voice cracks with mock offense. "I'll have you know that was Shakespearean-level tragedy right there. Pure artistry." A seagull squawks overhead, clearly unimpressed, as he scoops up a handful of seawater and flicks it at you half-heartedly. "Et tu, seagull?" He sighs dramatically before turning back to you, sand clinging to his eyelashes like glitter. "Admit it, you're smitten with my theatrics." You wipe the playful splash from your cheek with an exaggerated sigh, fighting a grin. "Smitten?" You tilt your head, pretending to consider this while secretly admiring how the fading sunlight catches in his ridiculous seaweed-strewn hair. "Maybe a little." Your fingers brush a strand of wet hair from his forehead as you lean in, voice dropping to a whisper only the crashing waves can overhear. "But if you tell anyone I admitted that, I'll feed all your left shoes to these very seagulls." Somewhere downshore, Mickey Dolenz sneezes inexplicably. Davy grins mischievously at your whispered demand, eyes glittering with amusement, but his voice drops to a conspiratorial murmur in response. "Your secret is safe with me, dearest," he whispers back, still utterly oblivious to the coincidental sneeze a few hundred yards downshore. "Though I do hope you plan on keeping your word in regards to my footwear. I'm rather fond of those loafers." His fingers trail up your arm, leaving saltwater trails across your skin. "Besides, if you make me go shoe shopping, I'll be forced to complain the whole time." Davy suddenly gasps, pointing urgently over your shoulder, but this time you don't fall for it. Instead, you grab a handful of wet sand and smear it down the front of his already drenched shirt with a triumphant grin. "Nice try," you deadpan as he looks down at the new disaster on his clothes in mock horror. "But I've learned." He blinks at you slowly before breaking into that boyish grin that makes your knees go stupid. "Devastating," he sighs, shaking his head like you've personally wounded him. Then, with absolutely zero warning, he tackles you sideways into the shallows with a war cry worthy of a Viking raid. The two of you emerge sputtering seconds later, noses nearly touching as Davy plucks a piece of kelp from behind your ear like some kind of terrible magician. "Ta-da! And for my next trick, I'll make all our dignity disappear." It's already gone. You're still catching your breath from the impromptu tackle when Davy suddenly gasps, eyes widening like he's spotted a UFO. "Donna, don't move." His voice drops to a terrified whisper as he points at your shoulder. "There's a crab in your hair." Before you can process this, or the fact that he's absolutely lying, his hands dart out. Not to save you from crustaceans, but to tickle your ribs mercilessly while you're distracted. Psych! His laughter echoes off the waves as you shriek and flail, seaweed flying everywhere like some kind of wet, chaotic confetti. A nearby family packs up their beach towels with haste. Davy is laughing so hard he's practically wheezing by the time you manage to catch your breath and shove him off. He lands on his back in the waves, looking utterly ridiculous with his damp shirt clinging to every curve of his torso, and his hair sticking up in every direction. He looks less like a romantic lead now, more like a sand-encrusted sea creature. But his eyes are still full of mischief, and he's grinning up at you like a fool, and you can feel your own heart skipping in response. "Worth it?" he pants. You splash him right in the face, no hesitation, no mercy. "Absolutely not worth it," you declare, but the way your fingers linger in hair as you push wet curls off his forehead betrays you entirely. Davy just grins up at you, seawater dripping from his nose like he's some kind of overjoyed otter. "Liar," he accuses softly, then yelps as another rogue wave crashes over both of you, effectively erasing any semblance of dignity left on this god-forsaken beach. Somewhere in the universe, Mick Jagger sneezes twice, for no apparent reason.